Hi there, welcome back to another video. It's Vidvember. Hashtag is Vidvember. This is day 18. Another video for you. Today I want to talk about surveying your customers. If you've never surveyed your customers, today is probably the time to try it out yourself. Okay, so get an email ready to send out these people with some survey. Now, I'll give you 5 questions that you could try and ask your customers, whether you have a physical business or a service-based business, or even if you sell products. Survey your customers and try and get some information from them if you haven't already. So here's a couple of things to know. If you're going to ask questions, make sure they're open-ended. They're not loaded questions where you're trying to get an answer based around your goal. You also want to know what your actual end goal is of the surveys, and that where you might adapt some of your questions based off what you actually want to achieve from running a survey. So don't ask loaded questions, make sure they're open-ended questions. Also, start with a little intro, kind of make it easy for them to answer a question. You can start with a multiple choice question at the start, or a simple yes, no, or a grading question. It just gives them a chance to make a little bit of commitment before they go into answering the rest of your questions. What you want to try and do is have paragraph text boxes for them to fill out so you can get a nice response to them. But sometimes these big paragraph boxes can put people off completing a survey. So just bear that in mind. If your questions are too in-depth, then you're not probably going to get a response. You want a short question, open question, which can then get an open, nice sort of information, like a nice paragraph of text describing whatever their problem is. So I'm going to give you 5 questions that you can try with, okay? So question number 1 is, could you rate our business out of 9, okay? Try this 1 to 9, rate our business out of 9, 9 being the best. Ask the customers that. That could be a multiple choice question. A very small commitment they have to make is just clicking a button. Why 1 to 9? When I worked for a large corporation that made computers, a big company, they surveyed based off 1 to 9. They didn't use 1 to 10 because people in the middle just picked 5. Okay, and you don't want that. You want people to give a swing one way or the other, whether they're going to rate your business good or bad. Okay, so try that. 1 to 9, simple rating your business. Question number 2, ask your customers what they liked, whether it's about your service, your product, or your business, their experience. Ask them what they liked and give them enough room to write something out. You could also make a point saying this doesn't have to be a long paragraph text, just a few words or a couple of sentences about what you liked about your service or your experience with our company. Okay, question number 3, the hard one. Ask them what they didn't like. Now this is important if you do run a subscription-based sort of website. You want to know why they left. That could be that kind of question rather than what they didn't like. If you run a sort of a physical shop, maybe they had a bad experience or something, they tried to buy something didn't happen. You might find you're getting that kind of response. You could ask them what they didn't like. Maybe if they're a member to your gym, maybe if they buy regularly off you, and you survey them, ask them what they didn't like. It might be hard for you to get the responses back and you might cringe when you read some of them, but it can also help you improve later on down the line. So you really want to know why people didn't like your business, either why they didn't come back, why they left, what are the reasons for. So that didn't like question is really important. Okay, question number 4, you could ask them if they would recommend you to their friends. Okay, this is a real important question. Again, you could rate this out of 1 to 9. You could break this up in your questionnaire. It's another easy multiple choice option, but ask them if they would recommend your business, your company. Ask them if they'd recommend them to a friend. You want to find out if these people are loyal followers of yours, they're raving fans. So that's a great question, and you'll get some good feedback from that. If they don't recommend you to their friends, you probably aren't going to do much marketing to that type of person or that specific person anymore. But it's one thing to know, okay? So ask them how they rate you, your business, your service, or your product. You can get some real good feedback from this question, and you can actually target, you can see who the people, your dedicated fans, the people, every email you send out, they're going to open it up. Every offer you have, they're probably going to buy it. So find out those ones, if those people who would recommend your business. Okay, question number 5, ask them how you can improve. Get their feedback off them of ways that you can improve your business. Okay, it might be hard for you to ask this type of question, but you're hearing this from your customers. They're going to see things that you don't see. They're going to deal with customers or your staff that you don't deal with in a different way. There's so many different areas they'll see in your business that you don't see if you're in it. This applies so well if you have a physical business and there's multiple staff, but also if you have maybe a service-based business and there's certain ways you could improve the marketing or the feedback for the course or something you're selling. Okay, so ask them how you can improve your product, your service, and the knowledge you can get back from that, the answers from that can help you really change something particular in your business that can even grow the business itself because you're getting feedback. You know this thing could improve. Everyone's saying it. So because so many people are saying one thing can improve, you know you can add that on. So this is a real great question to find out exactly what you think you're doing and you're not doing inside your own business. Okay, and that's it. I do have one other question you could add to this, and this is asking your customers if they would pay more. Okay, so it's kind of a little bonus question, one you could throw in there. Be careful how you use this one. If you've got a product you're selling and you've already sold it, you could have asked them if they would pay more or less. One easy way to do this is actually give them a pricing point saying, would you pay, give them 3 prices. Say, would you pay this one, and they've got to choose, okay? So this is a really good thing to do if you're trying to price a product in future and you're maybe going to resell it. It can work for any business, any physical business, any club membership type thing that you run, especially a membership kind of website or even sort of a membership type business with a gym or something. It's a great way to give them 3 prices that potentially they can choose one and ask them if they would have paid more. Or maybe if you're looking to launch a product, you could even ask them, what is the sort of price point that you'd be interested in paying for this next service I'm going to offer. So little bonus question there, but if you're going to be surveying these people, try and get as many questions in as you can, obviously, but don't make these surveys too long. No more than 5 minutes. So that's why I'm trying to keep this down to 5 questions, 6 there at the end, another question, but do it. Anyway, simple survey your customers, find out what they think of your business, and they are looking at everything that you don't see. Okay, so do it now, do it this weekend if you can, put together a quick survey. You can use SurveyMonkey or Google Forms. Google Forms has a great little question area in it. Either of those two, SurveyMonkey, you could send out a survey or create the survey, send it out. Google Forms, write the questions out, and again, you can send a link out to that. So very easy way to get some feedback off your customers. Hope you like this video. I'll be back soon with another one.